Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be diving deep into the world of dropshipping today.
Oh, fun.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at this YouTube course.
Okay.
It's called Beginner's Guide to Dropshipping in 2025 by Jordan Bown.
All right, I've heard of him.
Have you seen this course?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I went through the whole thing. It's very, very long.
It is long. It's like 18 hours or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So whether you're just starting out or maybe you've already been doing dropshipping for a while and kind of hit a wall,
Yeah.
we're going to be kind of breaking it down and seeing what he actually says.
Okay.
And sifting through the hype and seeing what is really actionable in 2025.
Sounds good. I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value out of this deep dive.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I noticed something interesting about this course.
Okay.
He offers it for free,
Right.
but he is constantly promoting those Shopify affiliate links.
Yes, especially the $1 for 2 months deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that classic,
Yeah.
get you in the door and then upsell you later.
Right. It's a clever strategy, though.
It is.
It lowers the barrier to entry, gets people excited to start their dropshipping journey.
Right.
But I think it raises a crucial question for anyone listening. Is Shopify always the best platform?
Mm,
Or is it just the one that benefits Jordan Bound the most?
that's a great point. It might be tempting to just jump right in with that $1 deal.
Right.
But, take a moment and think about those long-term costs.
Yeah.
And really think about if Shopify aligns with your business needs.
Exactly.
There'll be other platforms out there that are a better fit for you.
Absolutely. Don't let those shiny deals cloud your judgment.
Right.
It's like choosing a car based solely on the down payment without considering the monthly costs and insurance.
Perfect analogy.
I love that.
Okay, now another thing that Bound emphasizes is moving beyond just dropshipping and building a brand through storytelling. And he even uses a couple examples. He talks about Felicity, which is this successful photo necklace store.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And he admits to borrowing some of their ad hooks.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
While he might have seen some short-term success with that tactic, I think it really raises the question of sustainability
Yeah.
and originality.
Especially when you're talking about building a brand.
Exactly. Copying someone else's story isn't going to get you very far.
So what can our listener learn from this?
It's all about crafting your own unique narrative. If you're inspired by Felicity's story, that's great. But think about how you can take that inspiration and showcase your product's unique features and build an emotional connection with your target audience.
Right.
Focus on authenticity, and creating a brand that truly resonates with your ideal customer.
Makes sense. Now, Bound also shares his own success story
Okay.
with Street Style Men.
Yeah.
It's a clothing store that he claims made $2 million using simple Facebook ads
Oh, wow.
and bulk testing clothes. But here's the catch. He's completely abandoned this model.
Really?
Yeah.
So that begs the question, is that strategy even viable in 2025?
Right.
I mean, the Facebook advertising landscape has changed drastically.
Yeah.
And simply replicating what worked a few years ago, might not cut it anymore.
So what should our listener be thinking about when they hear this?
Don't blindly follow outdated strategies, It's essential to stay updated on current marketing trends. Adapt your approach accordingly. Explore different platforms, experiment with various ad formats, and, focus on building a diversified marketing strategy.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Now, this is where things get a little interesting because Bound takes a bit of a detour into the world of mindset
Oh, yeah.
and manifestation.
Okay.
He even recommends a 7-day dopamine detox.
Wow.
Have you ever done a dopamine detox?
I have not.
I have not either.
Yeah, that's a bit much for me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So this section has sparked a lot of debate online.
I can imagine.
Some people are saying mindset is crucial for entrepreneurial success. Others see it as a distraction from taking concrete action.
Right.
And Bound even says, and I quote here, "The only true test of someone's intelligence is by measuring someone's ability to get what they want out of life."
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
And while I do think it's important to have clear goals and a positive mindset,
Right.
attributing success solely to manifestation can be a little misleading. There's a balance to be struck
Yeah.
between cultivating a healthy mindset and, actually taking the practical steps to achieve your goals.
So how can our listener navigate this? They're hearing all this stuff about mindset and manifestation.
Yeah.
What should they be thinking?
Instead of getting caught up in the hype of, manifesting your dream business,
Right.
focus on developing a growth mindset.
Okay.
Embrace challenges as opportunities for learning, and be open to adjusting your strategies along the way. Remember, building a successful business requires both action and adaptability.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to...
One thing I did find interesting was his emphasis on problem-solving products.
Oh, yeah.
He showcases these brands like Headache, Bleem the Hug Sleep Pod, all of which address specific pain points.
Yeah, that's true. He really seems to be trying to steer people away from those fleeting trends.
Right.
And focus on products that provide real value.
Exactly. And it makes sense from a marketing perspective, too.
Oh, how so?
Well, when you're solving a problem, you're tapping into a pre-existing need,
Right.
which can make your marketing efforts way more effective.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So what's the takeaway for our listener? Should they be like brainstorming a list of problems right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Think about the challenges you face in your own life, or even frustrations you hear from like friends and family. Could any of those be solved with a product?
Interesting.
You might stumble upon a brilliant dropshipping idea just by observing the world around you.
That's great advice. Okay, so beyond the mindset stuff and these general, product ideas, Bound does offer some concrete strategies, like the reverse method for product research.
Right.
He also talks about using tools like AutoDS and focusing on high AOV products. Let's break those down.
Sure. So the reverse method is essentially about finding winning products by analyzing what's already selling well.
Okay.
So instead of trying to predict the next big thing, you're looking at proven successes and figuring out how to get in on the action.
So you're working backward from success.
Exactly.
Finding stuff that's working and figuring out how to get in on that.
Exactly. And tools like AutoDS can help you automate parts of that research, which can save a ton of time and effort. And then high AOV.
What is that?
Stands for average order value. Basically maximizing your profit per sale.
Okay, cool. So those sound like pretty good strategies.
Yeah.
Are they still relevant in 2025, though?
That's a great question.
What are the potential pitfalls?
Well, while the reverse method can be a valuable starting point, you got to remember that you'll be entering a potentially crowded market.
Right.
So you need to find ways to differentiate yourself.
Okay.
Whether that's through unique branding, exceptional customer service, or offering something extra, beyond just the product itself.
So it's not enough to just find a winning product and be like, okay, I'm going to sell this too.
Exactly. You need to think about how you'll stand out from the competition.
Okay, that's good advice.
Yeah.
What about AutoDS? I know a lot of people are talking about automation these days.
Yeah, automation can be super helpful.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't replace your own, critical thinking and market research. You still got to understand the nuances of the market, the needs of your audience, and the overall, competitive landscape.
So you still have to put in the work.
Exactly.
And what about high AOV? Is that always the best approach?
It can be tempting to just focus on, high-priced items.
Right, because you make more money that way.
Right. But remember, those often require a lot more marketing spend and effort to convince customers to shell out, a lot of money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You might find more success with lower-priced products that have a faster sales cycle, even if the profit margin per unit is smaller.
So it's all about finding the right balance.
Yeah, between profit margin and sales volume.
Okay, makes sense. Now here's where Bound's advice gets a little tricky.
Okay.
He throws out this $10 product, $20 sale example as a way to scale up quickly.
Right.
But he really glosses over the challenges of actually scaling a business.
Oh, totally. Like actually fulfilling orders.
Yeah.
Managing inventory, dealing with customer service issues.
Yeah, all that stuff.
All of that and more. It's important to remember that scaling any business, especially dropshipping, comes with a whole other set of complexities.
Right.
You got to think about building a team.
Okay.
Optimizing your fulfillment process. Making sure you can maintain quality control as your orders, start increasing.
So it's not as easy as he makes it sound.
Definitely not. And speaking of potential issues, this is where Bound kind of drops the ball.
Okay.
He barely even mentions the legal side of dropshipping.
Oh, right. Not quite.
Things like patents, trademarks, the risk of getting your store shut down.
He doesn't really talk about that, does he?
No, not really.
Yeah.
But those are pretty important things to think about.
Yeah, for sure. So what should our listener be aware of here?
You need to do your own research.
Okay.
Understand the basics of intellectual property law. And make sure you're not infringing on anyone's rights.
So where can they go to learn more about this?
The USPTO website
What's that?
Stands for United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Oh, okay.
It's a great resource for checking if a product is patented or trademarked.
Okay.
There's also a ton of online resources and guides that can give you more information about intellectual property and dropshipping.
That's helpful. But even if you do your research, there's still a chance things could go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Brown himself had his Shopify store shut down.
He did. And while he doesn't go into detail about what happened,
Yeah.
it definitely serves as a cautionary tale.
Right.
Even experienced dropshippers can make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's crucial to have a plan in place to kind of mitigate those risks.
So what can our listener learn from his experience?
Transparency is key.
Okay.
Be upfront with your suppliers about your business model. Make sure you're sourcing products from reputable suppliers who are, complying with all the laws.
Okay.
And most importantly, stay informed about changes in platform policies and regulations.
So you don't get caught off guard.
Exactly. Now, towards the end of his course, Bound briefly mentions building a team.
Oh, yeah. He does talk about that.
Yeah, virtual assistants, CPAs, other professionals who can help you manage the different aspects of your business.
Right. And this is where we see that bigger picture.
Yeah.
Dropshipping isn't just about finding a product and running some ads.
Right. It's about building a sustainable business that can thrive in the long term.
So it's not just a side hustle.
It can be a side hustle.
Okay.
But if you're serious about it,
Right.
you need to treat it like a real business.
Okay.
That means investing in the right tools and resources, building a solid team,
Right.
and developing a long-term strategy for growth.
That's a great point. But that can be expensive,
Yeah.
especially for someone just starting out.
There are ways to bootstrap it.
Okay, how so?
You can start by outsourcing smaller tasks to freelancers or virtual assistants.
Okay.
As your business grows and your revenue increases, then you can gradually invest in more specialized expertise,
Yeah.
accounting, legal counsel, things like that.
So you don't have to do everything yourself from day one.
Exactly. You can start small and scale gradually.
Okay, makes sense. And you know what? Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
There are so many online communities and resources
Yeah.
where you can connect with other dropshippers.
Exactly. Get advice from experienced entrepreneurs.
Perfect. So what's the key takeaway for our listener here?
Dropshipping can be a viable business model,
Okay.
but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah.
It takes work dedication, a willingness to learn and adapt,
Okay.
but most importantly, it requires you to think for yourself and make decisions that align with your own vision and goals.
That's some solid advice. All right, let's move on to one thing I did want to touch on was
Okay.
Bound's claim that the only way he can offer this course for free
Right.
is through those affiliate links.
Yeah, it's definitely a clever marketing tactic.
It is.
He's positioning himself as this generous guy.
Right, giving away all this valuable information.
Exactly. But it makes you wonder about,
About what?
his priorities.
Right. Is he actually trying to help people, or is he just trying to,
Line his own pockets, make as much money as possible.
Exactly. That's the question you need to ask yourself. Whenever you are evaluating, any of these gurus or these online courses,
Absolutely.
what are their motives?
Yeah, are they transparent about their business model?
Right.
And, most importantly, does their advice actually align with your values?
And goals.
Exactly.
So what's the takeaway for our listener?
Be discerning.
Okay.
Don't just take everything at face value.
Right.
Do your own research, compare different perspectives, and, think critically about the advice that you're given.
Don't just blindly follow what one person says.
Exactly. What works for one person might not work for you.
Right.
And there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
That's a great point. It's all about finding what works for you
Yeah.
in your specific circumstances.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's the beauty of dropshipping.
Okay.
It's relatively low risk. You
Yeah.
can test out different products, different strategies, different approaches.
See what sticks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all about learning by doing.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Okay.
But don't mistake action for blind action.
That's a good distinction.
Yeah, the most successful dropshippers
Yeah.
are the ones who are constantly learning and adapting,
Okay.
refining their strategies based on data and feedback.
So it's a continuous process.
It is.
Of learning and improvement.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah.
You're never really done learning.
Right.
There are always new challenges, new trends, new opportunities.
That's a really great way to look at it.
Yeah,
It's not about finding the magic formula.
right.
It's about embracing the journey
Yeah,
and constantly evolving.
exactly. And remember, the most valuable asset you have in this journey is your own critical thinking skills.
Oh, that's a good point.
Don't be afraid to question things.
Yeah.
Challenge those assumptions.
Right.
And, carve your own path.
I love that. All right, well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Jordan Bound's dropshipping course.
It was dense.
Yeah, 18 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
What is the one key takeaway you want our listener to remember from all of this?
Dropshipping can be a fantastic way to build a business.
Okay.
But it's not a passive income stream or a guaranteed path to riches.
Right.
It takes effort, strategy, a willingness to learn and adapt.
Okay.
But most importantly, it requires you to think for yourself.
Yeah.
And make decisions that align with your own vision.
I love that. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Absolutely.
We hope you gained some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to take action.
Get out there and start building.
And remember, the best way to learn is by doing.
That's right.
So get out there and start building something amazing.